Hello and welcome to this latest episode of H2O Global News Stream. I'm joined today with Travis Loop, the founder and CEO of Waterloop. Hi Travis, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing so good. I am excited to be on here after following for so long and watching the work. So thanks for having me.
Oh, no, absolute pleasure. I've been following you too. It's mutual appreciation. I
Yes, there's a great group of us in water. We were just talking about this. It's a big planet. There's a lot of people that work in water, but it's still a very tight-knit group. So we all are connected.
It really is, and I think that's one of the reasons for us talking today is our joint passion for giving people a voice,
Hmm.
and being able to talk about what cool stuff they're doing. Um, but I want to put you in the spotlight first, because
Okay.
often people like you and I, we talk about other people and we forget to talk about ourselves. So
You're
tell
right. It always feels strange to me to be on this side of the
it does.
interview. I'm always on your side. So
So here we go. Let's
yeah.
get to well. Let's see how this turns out. Tell me about yourself and why the water sector.
Yeah, a lot of there's a question that people ask often, like, did water choose you or did you choose water? As you kind of get philosophical about how we got into these jobs. Um, and I guess when I try to think of my roots in water, there's two things that jump out. I was in middle school, so let's say seventh or eighth grade, 12, 13 years old, and our school took us on a field trip to the Chesapeake Bay, which is the largest estuary in the United States. And one of the activities was a nighttime canoe ride, and it was a full moon out, and it was we were riding in these canoes through the marsh, and you heard birds and animals that you don't hear in the day. All this activity was going on. You could smell the water and the marsh, and it was just spectacular. And it was a really kind of formative experience for me that connected me to the Chesapeake Bay, and to water and kind of how spectacular it all is. Um, and then fast forward a bunch of years, I worked in journalism. That's what I did even in high school and college. And then my first 7 or 8 years as a professional was as a journalist. And then I got a job in communications working on Chesapeake Bay cleanup and restoration.
I love
So
this full
I don't know
circle.
how many years that was, 20 years later, my first job in water was working on the Chesapeake Bay. And I went on to work at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the Water Environment Federation, and then to launch Waterloop. So I'm a big water person personally, surfer, swimmer, diver, paddler. But I guess it was water kind of chose me with that field trip and then that first job.
What is fascinating is that field trip and first job connected, and it
22
does
decades apart. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
does feel very fate-like for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
so that really segments us very beautifully into Waterloop. Anybody
Yeah.
that's watching this that doesn't know what Waterloop is,
Sure. Yeah,
oh,
I think when we look around, a lot of the mainstream media stories that we see, a lot of the stuff on social media is about the challenges, the problems, the latest crisis or emergency with water, the
mhm.
doom and gloom. And we have to be educated on the problems, but it can be overwhelming, and it's not talking enough about all of the positive things that are happening. And so I started Waterloop. It's a nonprofit media outlet that's designed to explore water solutions through podcasts, videos, and social media content. So what are the paths to progress? Who are the people that are creating change? What are the success stories? And holding that stuff up so people can copy them, can be inspired, and can see that yes, we've got a lot of tough problems and tough challenges, but there are ways to make progress and tackle them. So Waterloop, a wide range of issues, a wide range of people on there, and it's very conversational. It's about having dialogue, just about solutions and talking to people that are creating progress out there. So again, it's podcasts, it's videos, and social media content.
That's amazing. And the type of people you speak to, boots on ground, creating solutions.
Yeah, it's really a mix. I talk to people that are working at specific waterways or in their community, but also talk to thought leaders and decision makers. It could be about drinking water, climate resilience, water equity, environmental justice, restoring waterways. So really, water is such a diverse field, right? But it's also all interconnected. What's happening with utilities, or what's happening in a river, or all of that's all connected. So that's kind of why I'm good with exploring all those different routes. Yeah.
What's your plans for Waterloop? What's your aspirations, and what do you want people to get out of Waterloop?
Yeah, I really, right now, I have a lot of exciting things going on. I'm doing a whole series about PFAS, which is one of the biggest challenges in water. And I'm looking at the lessons learned from the Cape Fear River in North Carolina, where I live. It's been an epicenter of pollution. So exploring the solutions and the response there, and hoping those lessons help others. Doing a whole series on financing the removal of lead pipes. There's an estimated 10 million lead pipes in the United States still in the ground, and how do we come up with the money to get those out? I'm also a partner at the Reservoir Center, which is a new facility in Washington, D.C., kind of a think tank for people to think about our water issues. And I'm also going around the U.S. and doing some exploration of solutions in New Orleans, at Navajo Nation, and in the Central Valley in California. So that's kind of reflective of the type of content that I'm doing and hope to keep doing. I really just hope people hear about solutions, feel a little educated, feel a little empowered, and can kind of carry some of those lessons to their work.
I love that. And your main audience, is that people within the sector, or do you sometimes try and reach out to the wider community? People like you and I, before water was this really important thing in our lives, before we become aware of its importance. Right.
I think that my audience is people working in water and adjacent to water, because we do dive into the topics and can get a little technical or a little wonky or whatever. So people that are at utilities, people that work in all levels of government, people at universities or doing research, advocacy groups, NGOs, everybody that's kind of working in those spaces, engineering firms, tech companies, that's still a lot of people. That's still a very broad audience, right?
Yes, I'm getting
which is always. And I'm always so excited when I realize how many people are working on water issues. I'm like, okay, we've got a pretty big army out there tackling this stuff.
Yeah, and also attracting other people from other sectors. This is one of the things which I've been speaking to a lot of companies about. Let's get some talent. Let's attract talent from other sectors into this one, because this is an exciting place to be. And it is the place to be right now.
I love that point. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of great people, like I just said, and like you said, but we need more, right? And the challenges that we're facing require different kind of skill sets than have maybe typically been in water, especially around data and machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all this kind of thing. So we need more brains in here, and it's an exciting time for sure.
It is. So how do people listen to your podcast, and how do they access your content?
Yeah, the best one-stop shop is to go to the website waterloop.org. You can connect with the podcast on there. You can watch the videos. You can sign up for email updates. You can find all the social media accounts. Waterloop's on all podcast platforms, so people can just look it up on Apple or on Spotify, and then also find me on your favorite social media platform. And one of the best, I'm a nonprofit, so one of the best ways that people can support Waterloop is to reach out to the sponsors that you see on the website and on the podcast, and just learn more about them, talk to them, let them know that you heard about them on Waterloop, and that'll help keep this thing going. So
that's amazing, and it is so important. People like yourself that's had all of that experience, you've got the passion, you're able to have these conversations with these individuals and really investigate, take a subject from start to finish. And anyone that's listening, go on to waterloop.org, is that correct?
That's right.
Watch, support, and get in touch if you think, I'm assuming you want people to reach out to you if they think they've got something to share, right?
Absolutely. Like, that's the best, is hearing from people out there, just getting in touch in general, or if they've got a great idea or a person or a project to consider. Yeah, I love hearing from folks.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for doing what you do. I'm big fan, so
well, likewise. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. It didn't feel too strange, I guess, to be on this other side of the mic, and thanks for what you do too, having guests on and just sharing stories.
Yeah, this is what it's about, right? And the more people we can reach to just talk, and especially support people like you, people that are innovating, just that's what we're here to do. And that joint passion that we share, I'm sure, is coming through on this recording for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.